happy to be here and have the opportunity to ask you these questions, PT. And it's just so fortunate to be able to ask you about yoga and yoga, to make sure there's not so much confusion and not so much misinformation about it. So this word yoga, was it in the Vedic scriptures mentioned?
Yes, the term yoga is a Sanskrit term. Okay, so it means like joining together. Okay, which can be union. Like joining together. It's addition as well. Like like if you add 2 and 2, you get 4. Like okay, so that's also yoga. Okay, okay. So basically, it's a matter of joining. Like, and the joining which they meant here was with higher, something more than yourself. Okay, so if you're joining towards something, this is higher and this is you, and you're joining towards that, then you are actually moving up. Okay, so it's all about moving up and going up. That's what the whole term relates to.
Relates to yoga.
Yes, yes.
Union with higher or divine.
Yes, that is a generic thing, but as a whole, it's a movement upwards.
Upwards, to rise upwards.
Yeah,
Towards higher.
because if something is higher and you move towards it to join with it, then you're automatically moving up. You will have to move up. There is no other.
Towards it.
Yeah, yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
That you make this clear.
Yes.
How it was mentioned in the Vedic scriptures.
Yes.
And so was there also a mentioning of different yoga paths? Like, at least like nowadays they have different ways of calling it Bhakti Yoga or Raja Yoga or Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga.
Right. So the thing with that is that there is first no term as yoga.
Right.
Yoga is just a made up term now. So there is yoga only.
Right.
And bhakti, karma and jnana. These 3 yogas are mentioned. Okay, bhakti means devotion. Okay, karma means action, and jnana means knowledge. Okay, so all these 3 things are complementary to each other. Okay, it's not like you can just do one by itself. Okay, if you are doing bhakti, then you are automatically doing some action for that bhakti. You are praising, that's an action. Okay, then you'll bow and then you'll serve, then also that'll be an action. So serving will come under karma, like Arjun served Krishna, Hanuman served Ram. Okay, they were doing bhakti too. Hanuman did bhakti too. It is praising too. So bhakti and karma are together, and jnana is obviously necessary. Without jnana, like without knowledge, you cannot do either. Okay, you won't know what to do and whom to do bhakti to. That is knowledge. Okay, so all these 3 together are very complementary to each other, and they're together. So they're combined. So there's no point separating them. So it's basically a whole action which I've called PBS, praising, bowing, serving. Okay, so it comes under this blanket thing. All these 3 yogas come under this. So every being which did tapasya or yoga, like anyone, did praising, bowing, serving to higher and divine.
Wow.
Yes.
That's so kind of you to make this clear.
Yes.
It's different yoga, they only come together as one.
Yes.
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 And what about the Raja Yoga? There's this Raja Yoga, they call it to control the mind. It's like the king kind of way of yoga, controlling the mind.
Okay. Now what was done was that the 3 are connected. I told you they're connected and they're together. They are complementary. Now together, when everyone does all 3, they just call it Raj.
Okay.
Like king. Raj means
King.
King. Like king of yoga means like the sum total. Okay, but it's just the sum total of these 3, which are done together anyways.
Okay.
So then there's just a term. If you want to use, you use the word term Raj Yoga. Okay,
wow.
but you can call it Rishi Yoga. You can call it anything, but the thing will stay the same. It'll stay PBS. So there is no such thing as some. I mean, any number of yogas that are there in the market right now, which are just businesses, and they're just nothing to do with the real yoga. Okay, which is PBS. All the other things, you can call them 100 names. This Ashtang, Tritang, Kriya, Bhritva. Like you can call them so many different yogas are there, which are just different like shops. They have nothing to do with the reality, which is PBS. It has always been PBS, which will always be PBS. There is never going to be any separate thing. So that's why neither Hanuman or Arjun did any of these so-called modern yogas. Yeah. Yeah.
With the twist and turn the body,
Yes. Yeah, twisting and turning the body was never part of any yoga. Okay, like Prahlad, who is known as a great devotee of Vishnu, like never did any of this twisting. I mean, why would anyone do that? How does that serve divine?
Right.
How does it serve divine? Praising, that is like you're saying higher qualities, and then you imbibe those qualities. That helps you. Bowing, it shows your humility, and then gets you ready for service, and then you serve. Then your karma gets better. You went so high and divine, you're doing the right action then. So you get higher. So where does twisting and turning the body into all those shapes and torturing, self-torture is not part of any real yoga.
Yeah. Not part of any.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe some people just think it's keeping the body healthy and fit, so then it can serve better.
Yes. I think there's much more chance of like making the body like diseased by doing these things. If you keep your posture fine, straight, and just live simply with a simple diet and keep your posture fine, you have much more chance of being healthy than doing any kind of aerobics, gymnastics, which is what the modern yoga is. Like, okay, there's a more chance of hurting yourself. The chance of hurting yourself is much more in that than actually like keeping yourself healthy. Like, you might tear a ligament, or you might, something bad can happen if you put your body under that much pressure and duress. Like, so a lot can go wrong. Yes.
It's obvious, yes. Thanks, you're making the obvious so clear.
Yes. And the point is, if you move your body with grace, and if you keep it centered, and if you are keeping your body posture right, then that is the best way of keeping yourself healthy. And finally it will come down to your diet. If you do all these things, what modern yoga teaches, and you don't have a good diet, then what use will that be? Any which way, like if you don't know how to live a balanced Vedic kind of life, then all these things will not keep you healthy anyways. So it's extremism in all kinds of ways, and the Vedic thing is the middle centered thing.
Yes. You teach this so well, the basics in these other videos of yours, in PT Speaks. You make this so clear what the basics are, the proper diet, stuff. Like there are even some people who actually teach yoga, or they say they do, but they eat meat and drink alcohol. And this obviously doesn't go together.
To me, like when yoga is being done, anything is possible. There is nothing which is not possible, because it has no basis in reality. So once a person is doing that, they can basically do anything. And that's why people do that, and sometimes they do that for 6 months, and then it's called detox, and then they detoxify themselves, because that doesn't change anything. It doesn't bring your mind into control. It doesn't do anything for you which is permanent or lasting. So when you're doing something nonsensical anyways, then you can do other nonsensical things like eating meat and drinking alcohol and all these things. So that's how they go together. For me, they go together, and they're all part of industries. If you know all of these, like meat is also an industry, and alcohol is also an industry, and yoga is also an industry. Okay, so they're all industries, and all industries go together. Yes.
Like merchant industries.
Yes.
Good. Yes. So, like you made it clear that one can only raise to if there's some higher being or some higher divine being to put attention on. And it makes so much sense. What can one do if there's not any higher being around, or one cannot find somebody who is actually there to put one's attention on?
For that, one can always put attention on nature, because nature is always there. No matter who one is and where one is, the nature is present. As it was present thousands of years ago, it's present right now. So one can connect with nature. So then nature will be one's teacher, and that will teach one's common sense and other various qualities which will help one go towards higher and divine. So when one actually encounters something higher and divine, one will know that this is higher and divine, and nature will teach. It will give one that sense, basically sense of discrimination, and that sense of how to see something properly for what it is. So that's what nature teaches. So people anytime, anywhere can connect with nature at any point of time. There is that option is always there.
It is.
One doesn't need any human or any other kind of teacher
Exactly.
when that option is available. Yes.
That's very helpful advice you give there, yes.
Ye-
So nature is there, one just has to step out of the city, so the
Yeah.
unnatural lifestyle
Yes.
to
Yes.
find nature.
Yeah.
It's kind
And
of
connecting with it. Like
connecting.
you're proactively connecting with it. Like just like you will proactively connect with some people, like you should show the same kind of proactivity.
Proactivity,
Yeah.
connecting with nature.
Yes.
It's beautiful to make how you make this clear.
Yes.